The chamber was massive, built from materials that seemed to shift colors in the light. Captain Jake stood beside Ambassador Lisa Grant, watching as the 5 elder races took their seats on the raised platform. This was the Galactic Council, the group that had ruled known space for 10,000 years. They looked down at the human delegation like adults judging misbehaving children. Jake had been a soldier for 20 years. He knew when someone was preparing to deliver bad news. The way the elders sat, the way they whispered to each other and glanced at the humans, it all pointed to one thing. This meeting would not end well. High Arbiter rose from his seat. He was a species that looked like walking crystals with too many arms. His voice boomed through the chamber, translated instantly by the station systems. "We have called you here to address a serious matter," said. "Humanity has become a problem." Lisa stepped forward. She was calm, her hands clasped behind her back. "A problem? We have followed every agreement made since first contact. We have paid our fees, respected boundaries, and caused no conflicts." "You have expanded too quickly," another elder said. This was who looked like a massive serpent with eyes that glowed yellow. "In 50 years, you have claimed 12 star systems. You build warships. You refuse to accept guidance from those who have maintained peace for." Jake kept his face neutral, but inside he felt anger rising. Guidance. That was a nice word for control. The elder races wanted humanity to stay small, weak, and dependent. They wanted humans to ask permission before doing anything. "We have colonized empty systems," Lisa said. "We have not taken worlds from anyone. Our ships are for defense only." Laughed, it sounded like breaking glass. "Defense? You have built more military vessels in 30 years than some elder races have in centuries. You produce weapons at rates that concern us all." "Perhaps you should ask why we feel the need for defense," Lisa replied. Her voice was still calm, but Jake heard the edge in it. "We are new to this galaxy. We have been threatened, cheated, and attacked by pirates that seem to operate freely near elder space. We protect ourselves because no one else will." The elders shifted in their seats. Eyes narrowed. "Your paranoia is not our concern. What concerns us is your refusal to accept your place. You are a young species. You should learn from those who came before." "We are willing to learn," Lisa said, "but we will not be controlled." Stood again, all his arms spreading wide. "Then we have no choice. The Council has made a decision. You will accept client species status under oversight, or you will face isolation." Jake felt his jaw tighten. Client species. It was a polite term for slavery. The elder races had dozens of client species, races that had been forced to give up their independence in exchange for protection and technology. They had no votes, no rights, and no future except what the elders allowed. "That is unacceptable," Lisa said. "It is not a negotiation," hissed. "You will also abandon 6 of your colony worlds. They are too close to elder territories. We find your presence there uncomfortable." Jake spoke for the first time. "Those colonies have families, children, people who have built homes." "They can relocate," said, waving one arm dismissively. "You have other worlds. Consider it a small price for peace." "Small price?" Lisa's voice rose slightly. "You want us to abandon our people and surrender our freedom. That is not peace, that is conquest." The chamber fell silent. The other 3 elder races had not spoken yet, but Jake could see them nodding. They agreed with and. All 5 elder races stood together against humanity. "We understand you are upset," said, his tone suggesting he did not care at all. "Therefore, we give you 30 standard days to consider, 30 days to consult with your government and make the right choice. But understand this clearly. If you refuse, every elder race will close their borders to humanity. You will be alone. No trade, no communication, no help if you face threats, and if you attempt to expand further, we will stop you with force." Lisa looked at Jake. He gave a tiny nod. They had expected something like this, but not so extreme. The elders were not just pushing back, they were trying to crush humanity before it grew too strong. "We will need to discuss this with Earth," Lisa said. 30 days is a short time for such a major decision." 30 days is generous, said. "Be grateful we do not simply act now." Jake stepped closer to the platform. He looked up at the elders, studying their formations, their positions, the way the guards stood at the chamber doors. Old habits. He was always checking exits and threats. "And if we refuse, you will go to war with Earth." Laughed again. "War? No, child, we will not need war. Your ships are primitive, your weapons are crude, your people have been in space for barely a century." We have ruled this galaxy since before your species learned to make fire. If we must act, it will not be a war. It will be a correction." Lisa took a breath. Jake could see her choosing her words carefully. "I want to tell you something about human history. Throughout our time on Earth, peaceful people have been threatened by stronger powers. Sometimes they submitted. Sometimes they fought back. The ones who fought back often surprised everyone, including themselves." "Spare us your quaint stories," said. "This is not Earth. This is the galaxy, and here might determines right. You have no might, you have no allies, you have nothing but our mercy." "Mercy," Lisa repeated. "Is that what you call this?" "Call it what you wish," said. "You have 30 days, choose wisely." The council rose as one. The meeting was over. Jake and Lisa watched them file out of the chamber, each elder moving with the confidence of someone who had never truly been challenged. When the doors closed, Lisa turned to Jake. "They have no idea what they just did," she said quietly. Jake nodded. "They think we are weak. They think we will surrender." "Humanity does not surrender," Lisa said. "Not when our children are threatened, not when our homes are at risk. We tried peace. We tried diplomacy. We tried to fit into their system, and they responded with ultimatums and threats." Jake looked at the empty platform where the elders had sat. 30 days? They think that is generous. They think it proves they are being fair. "They just gave us 30 days to prepare," Lisa said. "That was their mistake." The two humans left the chamber. The station around them hummed with activity, thousands of species going about their business, unaware that the galaxy was about to change. Jake thought about the colonists on New Haven, on Artemis, on all the worlds the elders wanted humanity to abandon. He thought about the families, the farms, the schools. The elders had delivered their warning. They thought it would bring humanity to its knees. Instead, they had made humanity's choice very simple: submit or fight, and humans did not submit well. The news reached Earth before the delegation did. By the time Jake and Lisa Grant arrived at Earth Defense Command in Geneva, the entire planet knew about the ultimatum. Crowds gathered in every major city. Some called for acceptance, most called for defiance. Admiral Ben Carter stood in the command center, watching multiple screens showing data from across human space. He was a tall man with gray hair and scars on his hands from his years as a combat pilot. When Jake and Lisa entered, he turned and nodded. "How bad was it?" Ben asked. "Worse than expected," Lisa said. "They want 6 colonies abandoned and full client status, or they cut us off completely." "Client status means no freedom," Jake added. "No military, no expansion, no voice in galactic affairs. We become their servants." Ben looked at the screens again. "The president is meeting with the colonial governors right now. Public opinion is split 50-50. Half want peace at any cost, half want a fight." "What does the military say?" Lisa asked. Ben pulled up a tactical display. Red markers showed elder fleet positions. Blue markers showed human forces. "We are outnumbered 3-1. Their ships are bigger, older, more established. They have technology we barely understand. In a straight fight, we lose." "Then we do not fight straight," Jake said. Ben smiled slightly. "Exactly, come with me." They walked through corridors deep underground until they reached a secure area. Guards checked their identities 3 times. Finally, they entered a large room where Director Kate waited. She was younger than Ben, but her eyes held the same intensity. Behind her, holographic displays showed ships and weapons that Jake did not recognize. "Welcome to Phoenix Project," Kate said. "Please understand that what you see here is classified at the highest level. Only 50 people in all of human space know about this." Lisa stepped closer to the displays. "What am I looking at?" Kate touched a control and one display expanded. 20 years ago, we recovered debris from an elder ship that was destroyed by pirates. We studied it, reverse engineered it, and then we made it better." "Better?" Jake asked. "How?" "The elders are arrogant," Kate explained. "They think because they are old, they are wise. They think because their civilizations have existed for thousands of years, they have seen everything. But they stopped innovating centuries ago. They became comfortable." She showed them a sleek missile design. "This is a quantum disruption warhead. It phases through shields and detonates inside the target hull. The elders never developed this because they never needed to. Their shields work fine against each other." Another display appeared, showing a ship's defensive system. "This is adaptive shielding. It reads incoming energy signatures and adjusts in milliseconds. It can even reflect energy back at the attacker. Again, the elders never innovated beyond their standard shields. Ben stepped forward. And the biggest advantage, neural coordination networks. Our ships can link their computers and act as one organism. Perfect timing, perfect strategy, zero communication delay. The elders still use verbal commands and individual ship tactics. Lisa looked at all the technology surrounding her. How long have we been building this? 20 years, Kate said. Ever since first contact, some people in our government saw this coming. They knew the elders would not accept a strong humanity, so we prepared. We built weapons in secret. We militarized our industrial capacity. Every colony has hidden defenses. Every civilian ship can be converted to military use in hours. Jake felt a cold certainty settling over him. We have been preparing for war this whole time. We have been preparing to survive, Ben corrected. There is a difference. We did not want this. We tried diplomacy. We tried cooperation. But we also knew that hope was not a strategy, so we built an insurance policy. The door opened, and more people entered. Governor Cross from New Haven Colony led the group. He was a broad-shouldered man with sun-darkened skin from working outside. Behind him came other colonial leaders, all looking determined. We heard about the ultimatum, said. The colonies vote no, every single one. We will not abandon our homes. Even if it means war, Lisa asked. Especially if it means war, said firmly. We built those worlds with our own hands. We raised our children there. If the elders want our colonies, they can try to take them. But they will learn what humans do when you threaten our families. Ben looked at Lisa. The president wants your recommendation. You were there. You faced them. What do you think? Lisa was quiet for a moment. Then she spoke, her voice steady. The elders see us as children. They think we will be scared by their threats. They believe their technology and their age make them superior. They have never faced an enemy who could match them. We cannot match them, someone said. No, Lisa agreed. We can exceed them. They are stagnant. We are innovative. They are divided. We are unified. They think in terms of tradition and protocol. We think in terms of survival and adaptation. Admiral Carter is right. In a straight fight, we lose, but humans have never fought straight. Jake smiled. We fight dirty. We fight smart. We fight with everything we have. Then it is decided, Ben said. We reject the ultimatum, but we try one more diplomatic option. We send a counter-proposal. Full partnership, equal status, no client relationship, no abandoned colonies. We offer cooperation, not submission. They will refuse, Kate said. Yes, Ben agreed. But when they refuse, the galaxy will see that we tried. They will see we wanted peace. And when we win, no one can say we were the aggressors. Over the next week, Lisa sent the counter-proposal. It was detailed, fair, and generous. It offered trade agreements, technology sharing, and mutual defense. It treated the elder races as equals and asked for the same in return. The response came in 2 days. High Arbiter himself sent the message. He did not even pretend to be polite. Your demands are laughable. You have nothing we want. You are nothing we fear. Accept our terms or face the consequences. Ben read the message and smiled coldly. Send to all fleet commanders. Execute Plan Phoenix. Defensive positions only. Do not fire first, but be ready. Across human space, ships began to move. Destroyers, cruisers, and carriers slipped out of shipyards. They looked like normal human vessels from the outside. But inside, they carried weapons the elders had never seen. Each ship was crewed by men and women who knew what was coming. They knew they were outnumbered. They did not care. On New Haven, Cross watched the sky. Orbital defense platforms came online, their weapons charging. In shelters deep underground, families waited. Children asked their parents what was happening. The parents told them simple truth. Bad people wanted to take their home. Good people were going to stop them. Dr. Amy worked in a lab on Earth, making final adjustments to the quantum warheads. Each missile carried enough power to cripple an elder dreadnought. She had built 300 of them. It would be enough. It had to be enough. Jake stood on the command deck of the destroyer Defiant, his ship now. He had been promoted to commander just for this operation. Around him, his crew prepared. They were young, most of them. They had grown up knowing that someday humans might have to fight for their place in the galaxy. Lisa returned to the diplomatic station, but this time with a different message. She broadcasted on all frequencies, making sure every species in the galaxy could hear. To the elder races, we came in peace. We sought only to exist and grow. You responded with threats and ultimatums. You demanded we surrender our freedom and abandon our people. We refuse. Leave our worlds alone and there will be peace. Threaten us again and you will learn why Earth is called a death world. You will learn what happens when you corner predators who only wanted to be left alone. The message spread across the galaxy in hours. Some species watched with interest, others with fear. The elder races watched with contempt. They had heard such brave words before from dozens of young species. All of them had submitted in the end. Gave orders to his fleet. Prepare for operations. 30 days are almost up. When the time expires, we move in. We take those colonies by force. We show humanity what happens to those who defy the Council. He had 5,000 ships, battle-tested vessels with weapons that had conquered worlds. He had soldiers who had fought for centuries. He had the backing of civilizations that had ruled space since humans were living in caves. What he did not have was an understanding of what humans became when their children were the alarms started at dawn on New Haven. Cross stood on the balcony of the governor's residence, watching as 12 massive ships appeared in orbit. They were vessels, each one larger than any human ship. They hung in space like dark mountains, blocking out the stars. His communicator buzzed. "Governor, they are hailing us." Activated his personal comm unit. A hologram appeared, showing Fleet Master. The commander looked at him with what might have been pity. "Governor Cross, I am Fleet Master of the Expeditionary Force. You have 1 hour to begin evacuation procedures. All humans must leave this planet. Refusal will result in forced removal." Kept his voice calm. "This is our home, we built it, we will not leave." "You have no choice," said. "Look at my fleet, look at your defenses. This can be peaceful or violent. I would prefer peaceful." "I would prefer you turn around and leave our system," said, "but I do not think that will happen." "No," agreed, "it will not. 1 hour, Governor." The connection ended, looked at the sky again. Around the planet, orbital defense platforms were powering up. In space beyond the planet, 3 human destroyers waited. They looked tiny next to the elder ships. Probably thought this would be over in minutes. Touched his comm again. "All civilians to shelters, military personnel to stations, and someone get Commander Bailey on the line." Commander Chris Bailey sat in the captain's chair of the Defiant, watching the elder fleet through his displays. His ship was small, fast, and packed with weapons the elders had never seen. Around him, his crew worked quietly. They were scared. He could see it in their faces, but they were also determined. "Sir, the hour is almost up," his tactical officer said. Chris nodded. "Weapons status." Quantum warheads loaded. Adaptive shields online. Neural network connected to Phoenix and Ranger. All systems green. The Defiant had 2 sister ships in the system. Together, they linked their computers through the neural network. 3 ships acting as one mind, responding faster than any individual could. It was humanity's secret weapon, along with all the other surprises they had prepared. "Elder ships are moving," the tactical officer reported. "They are heading for the orbital platforms." Chris watched as the massive vessels began their approach. They moved slowly, confidently, was not even trying to be tactical. He thought this was already won. "All ships, this is Defiant. Hold fire until they shoot first, but be ready." The elder ships opened fire on the first platform. Energy beams lanced through space, hitting the platform's shields. The shields held for 3 seconds before collapsing. The platform exploded in a ball of fire and debris. "They fired first," Chris said quietly. "Light them up." The Defiant and its sister ships erupted into action. Quantum warheads launched, their drives burning bright blue. The elders probably thought they were normal missiles. They probably expected their shields to stop them easily. They were wrong. The first warhead reached a cruiser and phased through its shields like they were not there. It detonated inside the ship's power core. The cruiser broke apart from the inside, its hull tearing open as atmosphere and crew were ejected into space. "Direct hit," the tactical officer said, his voice shocked. "Their shields did nothing." "Keep firing," Chris ordered. More warheads launched. The elder ships scattered, finally realizing they were in danger. They fired back, massive energy beams that would have destroyed any normal human ship instantly. But the Defiant's adaptive shields read the energy signatures and adjusted. The beams hit the shields and were absorbed, then reflected back at the attackers. One destroyer took its own weapon's fire to the face and went dark, systems overloaded. "They are trying to target us," the pilot said, "but we are moving faster than they can track." The neural network let all three human ships coordinate perfectly. They did not need to talk or send signals. They just knew where each other was and what each other was doing. They moved like a school of fish, weaving between the elder ships, launching weapons and dodging return fire. Watched from his flagship as his fleet fell apart. In 5 minutes, he had lost 4 ships completely, and 6 more were badly damaged. The human ships darted around like insects, impossible to hit, their weapons tearing through his defenses. "How," he transmitted to the human commander, "how are you doing this?" Chris Bailey smiled. "You should have left when you had the chance." Another warhead hits flagship. The ship shuddered, systems flickering, made a quick decision. "All ships retreat, full reverse, get out of range." The Elder fleet turned and ran. They jumped to faster-than-light speed, abandoning the system entirely. Behind them, they left debris and disabled ships. In front of them, they left New Haven intact, its people safe. On the ground, Cross watched the Elder ships flee. He could barely believe it. 12 massive warships had been driven off by 3 small destroyers. The cheering started in the streets, colonists coming out of shelters to celebrate. The same scene played out across human space. At Artemis Colony, Elder ships attacked and were destroyed. At Nova Terra, retreated after losing half its numbers. At every contested system, human forces revealed their new weapons and tactics. The battles were one-sided, but not in the way anyone expected. Admiral Ben Carter stood in Earth Defense Command, watching battle reports flood in. Every colony was holding. Every human fleet was winning. The casualties were minimal on the human side and devastating for the Elders. "Sir, we have confirmation from all 12 systems," an officer reported. "Total Elder losses are 147 ships destroyed, 238 severely damaged. Our losses are 6 ships, minimal crew casualties." Ben allowed himself a small smile. "Send message to all colonial governors. Well done. Send message to all Elder fleets. This is your only warning. Leave human space immediately or face total destruction." In the Galactic Council chamber, High Arbiter stared at the reports in disbelief. His fleet, the mighty Navy, had been shattered, not just defeated, shattered. They had suffered similar losses. Every Elder race that participated in the attack had lost hundreds of ships and thousands of crew. "This is impossible," said. "They are primitives. They have been in space for barely a century." Coiled his massive serpent body, his yellow eyes dim with shock. "Impossible or not, it happened. They have weapons we did not know existed. Their ships move faster than ours. Their shields are more advanced. We underestimated them." "They ambushed us," insisted. "They attacked without warning." "We attacked first," reminded him. "We moved on their colonies. We fired first. They simply responded better than we expected." The other Elder races were silent. 3 of them had refused to participate in the attack, sensing it was a mistake. Now those 3 looked at and with something close to anger. The Council's reputation had been damaged. More importantly, the Council's power had been proven false. "We must prepare a larger attack. Gather all our forces. We will show them what true military might looks like." "No," one of the other Elders said. "This was a race that looked like floating orbs of light. You have done enough damage. We will not follow you into further disaster." "You must," said. "The Council decides together." "Then we leave the Council," they said. "We will not be part of your war with humanity. They asked for peace and partnership. You responded with ultimatums. They defended themselves with minimal force and maximum effectiveness. This is your failure, not theirs." 2 other Elder races agreed. The Council, united for 10,000 years, was splitting apart. Felt his power crumbling, hissed in frustration. They had pushed too hard, too fast. They had assumed an easy victory and found only defeat. On the Defiant, Chris Bailey received new orders. "All human fleets are to maintain defensive positions. Do not pursue Elder ships. Do not enter Elder space. We have made our point. Now we wait for them to make the next move." Chris relayed the orders to his crew. They cheered, celebrating their victory. But Chris knew this was not over. The Elders had been bloodied, but they were not broken. They would either seek peace or prepare for a larger war. Either way, humanity had proven something important. They could fight. They could win, and they would not be pushed around. Jake stood beside Lisa Grant in the diplomatic station, watching news feeds from across the galaxy. Every species was talking about the battles. Some praised humanity's strength. Others worried about a new power rising. The elders stayed silent, licking their wounds. 3 days after the battle, the galaxy was still reeling. News traveled fast in space, and every species heard about humanity's victory. In markets and stations across known space, people whispered about the new power that had emerged. The elder races tried to control the narrative, but the facts were impossible to hide. They had attacked and been defeated. In the capital, High Arbiter called for an emergency meeting. He brought together military commanders and political leaders, all of them angry and humiliated. The losses were staggering. Ships that had served for centuries were now debris. Crews that had been considered elite were dead or captured. "We must respond," said, his crystal arms striking the table. "We cannot let this stand. If we show weakness now, every species in the galaxy will question our authority." "Perhaps our authority should be questioned," someone said quietly. It was General, one of his own officers. "We attacked a peaceful species without provocation. We lost. Maybe we deserved to lose." Turned on him. "Deserved? They are primitives, children playing with stolen technology." "Children who defeated us soundly," said. "I reviewed the battle reports. Their tactics were superior. Their weapons were more advanced. Their coordination was flawless. These are not primitives, Arbiter. These are dangerous enemies that we created through our own arrogance." Meanwhile, on the Elder faced similar opposition. 3 of the 5 Elder races had formally withdrawn their support for military action against humanity. The had all issued statements calling for immediate peace negotiations. They condemned the attack on human colonies and praised humanity's restraint in not pursuing the fleeing ships. Coiled in frustration, "They betray us. After 10,000 years of unity, they side with humans over their fellow council members." "They side with reason over pride," his advisor said. "Perhaps we should consider doing the same." And were not ready to accept defeat. They began planning a second offensive, larger and more coordinated. They would gather every available ship and strike at Earth itself. Humanities would be held hostage. Surely the humans would negotiate when their birth planet was at risk. Admiral Ben Carter received intelligence about these plans within hours. Human agents throughout Elder space reported ship movements and military preparations. It was exactly what Ben had expected. The Elders would not surrender easily. "They are planning to attack Earth," he told his staff. "They think if they threaten we will fold." "Will we?" someone asked. "No," Ben said firmly. "But we will not let them reach Earth either. We are changing strategy. No more defensive positions. We take the initiative." Lisa Grant stood before the Human Defense Council presenting the new plan. "The Elders are consolidating their fleets. They plan to strike Earth within 2 weeks. We cannot allow that. I propose limited strikes against Elder military infrastructure, not civilian targets, not colonies, just shipyards and military bases." "That is an act of war," someone protested. "We are already at war," Lisa said. "They declared it when they attacked our colonies. Now we finish it on our terms. We show them that we can strike anywhere in their space. We show them that continuing this conflict will cost them everything." The vote was close, but it passed. Human fleets began moving into Elder territory. Small, fast strike groups equipped with the best weapons Phoenix Project could provide. Their targets were carefully chosen: military shipyards where new Elder vessels were built, weapon depots, and communication hubs. No civilian infrastructure, no colonies, just military targets. Captain Dan Foster led one such strike group into space. His 5 ships moved quietly, using stealth technology that was another human innovation. The Elders still relied on ancient sensor systems. They never saw the humans coming. The target was a major shipyard orbiting the planet Prime. Dozens of new warships were under construction, nearly complete and ready to join the second offensive. Foster watched the shipyard through his sensors, counting the security ships on patrol. 8 defenders, his tactical officer reported. All capital ships. They probably think they are safe this deep in their own territory. "They thought wrong," Foster said. "Execute attack plan Gamma, hit them hard and get out fast." The human ships dropped out of stealth and opened fire simultaneously. Quantum warheads streaked toward the shipyard and its defenders. The Elder ships barely had time to raise shields before the missiles phased through and detonated. 3 ships exploded instantly. The others scrambled to respond but found themselves outmatched. The shipyard itself took multiple hits. Explosions rippled along its structure as power cores overloaded. Dozens of incomplete ships were destroyed in their construction bays. The facility that had built vessels for 500 years was reduced to wreckage in 10 minutes. Foster's ships jumped to faster-than-light speed before reinforcements could arrive. Behind them, they left devastation and shock. The same scene played out at 6 other locations across in space. Each strike was surgical, precise, and devastating. Watch the reports come in with growing horror. 7 major facilities destroyed. Hundreds of ships lost before they could even be completed, and the humans had done it without losing a single vessel. They had struck deep into Elder space and left as easily as they came. "How did they reach us undetected?" he demanded. "Our sensors should have seen them coming." "Their stealth technology is beyond ours," an officer admitted. "They can appear anywhere, strike anywhere, and vanish. We cannot stop them." "Then we must negotiate," General said, "before they destroy everything we have." "Refused, we prepare for total war. Every ship, every weapon, every soldier. We will crush them or die trying." But other Elder races were not willing to die for pride. The formally opened diplomatic channels with humanity. They offered to mediate peace talks. Even within the government, voices called for to step down and end the conflict. In a neutral station far from both human and Elder space, Lisa Grant met with representatives from the 3 moderate Elder races. They came humbly, without the arrogance that had marked the first meeting. "We wish to apologize," the ambassador said. "We did not support the attack on your colonies, but we did not stop it either. For that, we share responsibility." "Apologies are nice," Lisa said, "but we need more than words and are still planning attacks. They still think they can win." "They cannot win," the representative said. It was a creature that looked like flowing water held in a vaguely humanoid shape. "Your forces are superior, your tactics are better, your people are more unified. If this continues, the civilizations will be crippled." "That is not what we want," Lisa said honestly. "We did not start this war. We do not enjoy it. We just want to be left alone to live our lives and build our future. But if they keep attacking, we will keep responding, and each response will be stronger." "Then help us remove them from power," they said. "Help us reform the council, support a new structure where all species are equal, not just the old ones." Lisa considered this. It was a dangerous proposal. Humanity would be interfering in Elder politics, helping to overthrow established leaders. But it might be the only way to achieve lasting peace. "What do you need from us?" she asked. "Evidence," they said. "We need proof that and are planning more attacks. Proof that they are using banned weapons. Proof that they care more about power than the welfare of their own people." "We can get that," Lisa said. "In fact, we already have some of it." Captain Dan Foster's next mission was information gathering, not combat. His strike group intercepted a convoy carrying supplies to a forward base. Among the cargo were biological weapons, banned by galactic law for 3,000 years. Weapons designed to target specific species, to cause maximum suffering with minimal visible damage. The evidence was damning. The weapons were clearly intended for use against human colonies, had been willing to commit genocide to win this war. Foster captured the convoy without firing a shot, using electronic warfare to disable the ships and take their crews prisoner. Every byte of data was, and transmitted back to human command. Lisa presented the evidence to the galactic community. She broadcast it on all frequencies, making sure every species could see what the Elder races had planned. The reaction was immediate and fierce. Dozens of species condemned and trade embargoes were announced. Diplomatic relations were severed. Within the government, the opposition moved swiftly. General led a formal challenge to authority, supported by nearly half the ruling council. Tried to hold onto power, but the evidence against him was overwhelming. He had brought shame and defeat to his people. He had violated the most sacred laws of galactic civilization. Was removed from power and placed under arrest. Faced similar action on 40 days after the first battle, Ambassador Lisa Grant returned to the Galactic Council chamber on Prime. The room looked the same, but everything else had changed. The 5 Elder races no longer sat together on the raised platform. 3 of them, sat at tables on the main floor alongside human representatives. Only the remained on the platform, and they looked diminished. General represented the now, was in prison awaiting trial for war crimes. A new leader called had replaced. Both new leaders looked tired and humbled. Behind them sat empty chairs where their military might once gave them confidence. Captain Jake stood beside Lisa, watching as the chamber filled with representatives from dozens of species. Young races that had been forced into client status. Neutral species that had stayed out of elder politics. Even some elder allies who were reconsidering their loyalties. Everyone wanted to see how this would end. Admiral Ben Carter attended via hologram, his image projected from Earth Defense Command. Governor Cross was there in person, representing the colonies. Director Kate came too, though few knew who she was. Phoenix Project was still mostly secret, and Kate preferred it that way. A neutral mediator called the meeting to order. She was from the species, chosen because her people had opposed the war from the start. We gather to negotiate the terms of peace between humanity and the Elder Council. Let us begin with the facts. 40 days ago, and forces attacked 12 human colony worlds without warning or legal justification. Humanity defended itself successfully. In subsequent actions, humanity demonstrated the ability to strike anywhere in Elder space with precision and power. Both sides have suffered losses. Both sides seek an end to hostilities. Is this accurate? Lisa stood. That is accurate. Humanity wants peace. We have always wanted peace. But we will not accept peace that requires us to surrender our freedom or abandon our people. Rose slowly. The Confederacy acknowledges our actions were unjustified. We attacked based on fear and arrogance. We believed humanity was a threat. Instead, we created the very conflict we claimed to prevent. We are prepared to discuss terms. Spoke for my people also seek peace. The previous leadership made poor decisions. We do not wish to continue their mistakes. Then let us discuss terms, the mediator said. Humanity, please present your requirements for peace. Lisa activated a holographic display. Our terms are simple and non-negotiable. First, full recognition of humanity as an equal sovereign power in galactic affairs. No client status, no oversight, no restrictions beyond those that apply to all species. Nodded slowly, acceptable. Second, Lisa continued. All human colonies are recognized as legitimate and permanent. No demands for abandonment or relocation. Human expansion into unclaimed space will continue without interference. That is also acceptable, said, though we request notification when human colonies establish near our borders. That is reasonable, Lisa agreed. Third, reparations for the attack on our colonies. We lost platforms, ships, and lives. The UN will provide compensation and reconstruction assistance. Winced but nodded. How much? We will provide a detailed accounting, Admiral Carter said. But expect it to be substantial. You attacked 12 worlds, the bill will reflect that. Fourth, Lisa said, all banned weapons discovered in the possession of Elder military forces will be destroyed under neutral supervision. The use or development of such weapons will be considered an act of war against all civilized species. The chamber murmured at this. The biological weapons Foster had discovered were still a raw wound for many species, looked ashamed. We agree, those weapons should never have been developed. They will be destroyed. Fifth, Lisa continued, the Galactic Council will be reformed. No more rule by age or tradition. Any species that meets basic criteria for space travel and peaceful intent can petition for membership. Decisions will be made by majority vote with no permanent ruling class. This caused real discussion. The elder races had controlled the council for 10,000 years. Giving up that power was not easy, but the three moderate races had already agreed to support this change. The ambassador stood. We support this reform. The old system bred arrogance and complacency. A new structure will benefit everyone, even us elders. We have much to learn from younger species if we are humble enough to listen. And exchanged glances. They had little choice. Their military power was broken. Their political influence was damaged. If they refused, they would be isolated completely. We agree to council reform, said finally. With one condition, the transition must be gradual. We need time to adjust our governments and systems. 5 years, Lisa said. You have 5 years to transition to the new structure. That is generous, considering you gave us 30 days to surrender. 5 years is acceptable, said. Finally, Lisa said, a mutual defense pact. Any species can join by agreeing to defend others who are attacked without cause. Elder and young races together, protecting each other as equals. This pact will be open to all, with humanity as one of its founding members. You would defend us? Asked, surprised. After what we did. We would defend anyone who is unjustly attacked, Jake said. That is what humans do. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. We believe in justice, not revenge. The chamber was quiet for a moment. Then the ambassador began to glow more brightly, a sign of approval in her species. Humanity has proven itself in battle. Now it proves itself in peace. These terms are fair and just. We accept all of them. Other species voiced agreement. The and dozens of smaller races all supported the terms, and had no allies left who would back them in opposition. The choice was accept or face complete isolation. The Confederacy accepts these terms, said formally. We will honor them fully. The Assembly accepts as well, added. The mediator smiled. Then let us formalize the agreement. A new era begins today. Over the next hours, documents were prepared and signed. Each term was detailed carefully, with specific timelines and enforcement mechanisms. Human lawyers worked with elder diplomats to ensure every word was clear. By the end of the day, the treaty was complete. Lisa signed for humanity and signed for their peoples. The three moderate elder races signed as witnesses and supporters. And then, one by one, 37 other species added their signatures. The treaty that ended the war also created a new galactic order. Jake stood outside the chamber later, watching ships arrive and depart from the station. Lisa joined him, looking tired but satisfied. We did it, she said quietly. We won the war and the peace. Did we win, or did they just finally listen? Jake asked. Both, Lisa said. We proved we could fight, but we also proved we wanted peace. That combination is rare. Most species only know how to do one or the other. Admiral Carter's hologram appeared beside them. All fleets have received stand-down orders. We are returning to normal readiness levels. The war is over. For now, Kate said, joining the group. But we keep Phoenix Project active, just in case. Smart, Jake agreed. Peace through strength. We are peaceful, but we are not weak. Governor Cross arrived, grinning widely. The colonies are celebrating. New Haven wants to build a monument to the defense fleet. They are calling it the Guardian Memorial. I hope we never need guardians again, Lisa said. I hope this peace lasts. It will last because we made it fair, said. We did not conquer, we did not humiliate, we just demanded respect. That is sustainable. Across the galaxy, the news spread. The war between humanity and the elder races had ended. Not with one side crushing the other, but with negotiation and mutual agreement. Young species celebrated, seeing hope for their own futures. Elder races began the difficult process of adapting to a galaxy where age did not automatically mean authority. Addressed his people. We learned a hard lesson. We thought our age made us superior. We thought our technology was unbeatable. We thought young races should bow to us. We were wrong. Humanity taught us that innovation comes from necessity, that determination beats complacency, and that respect must be earned, not demanded. We are humbled, but we are also wiser. Let us use this wisdom to build better relations with all species. Gave a similar speech to Our ancestors ruled because they were first, not because they were best. Humanity showed us that being first means nothing if you stop growing. They grew in 50 years more than we grew in 5,000. Let that be our lesson. On Earth, celebrations were more subdued. People understood they had won, but they also understood the cost. Every ship lost carried a crew, every battle had risks. They had been lucky, very lucky. Admiral Carter addressed Earth's Defense Council one final time. We prepared for this war for 20 years. We built weapons in secret. We trained our people. We made hard choices, and it worked. But let us not forget why we did it. We did not want war. We wanted peace. We wanted to live freely and raise our children safely. That is still our goal. The weapons we built, the fleets we maintain, they are not for conquest. They are for defense. Let us never become the thing we fought against. The Council agreed unanimously. Humanity would maintain its military strength, but it would use that strength to protect, not to dominate. The Phoenix Project would continue developing new technologies, but those technologies would be shared with allies in the new Defense Pact. Captain Chris Bailey and the crew of the Defiant returned to Earth as heroes. Parades were held, medals were given, but Chris remembered something his grandmother once told him. Heroes are just normal people who did what needed to be done. He and his crew had done what needed to be done. Nothing more, nothing less. A year later, the first meeting of the reformed Galactic Council took place. Representatives from 70 species attended, all with equal votes and equal voices. Lisa Grant represented humanity. The ambassador led the meeting, attended as one voice among many, no longer elevated above others. The first vote was unanimous. A memorial would be built on Prime, honoring all those who died in the war between humanity and the Elders. It would serve as a reminder that pride and fear led to unnecessary conflict. It would also remind future generations that peace was always possible if both sides chose wisdom over arrogance. Jake retired from military service and took a position teaching tactics at Earth's Defense Academy. He told his students about the war not to glorify it, but to help them understand why they trained. We prepare for war so we can have peace. We build strength so others will think twice before threatening us. But we never want to use that strength unless we must. That discipline, that restraint, that is what separates defenders from aggressors. Lisa Grant became Earth's permanent ambassador to the Galactic Council. She worked tirelessly to include more species, to mediate disputes, and to build the cooperative galaxy humanity had always wanted. She never forgot the lessons of the war. Diplomacy worked best when backed by strength. Peace required constant effort, and respect had to be mutual or it meant nothing. The Elders' last warning had been clear: submit or face consequences, but they had not understood that humans were done submitting. They had not realized that warnings only worked if you could back them up. They had not learned that the galaxy was changing, and species that refused to change with it would be left behind. The reckoning came swiftly, just as the Elders promised. But it came for them, not for humanity. They faced the consequences of their arrogance, their complacency, and their cruelty. And in facing those consequences, they finally learned what humanity had been trying to tell them from the beginning. All species deserved respect. All people had the right to defend their homes, and age was not the same as wisdom. The galaxy remembered this lesson for generations to come. And humanity, the young species that had humbled the mighty, continued to grow, explore, and protect those who needed protection. The war was over. The new age had begun. And humanity stood ready to face whatever challenges came next, not with arrogance, but with the quiet confidence of those who had been tested and not found wanting. The who had pushed for war with humanity were gone, replaced by leaders who understood that pride was not worth destruction. Admiral Ben Carter received the news and immediately ordered a halt to offensive operations. Human ships stopped their strikes and pulled back to defensive positions. The message was clear. Humanity would fight if necessary, but preferred peace. On New Haven, Cross watched his children play in the streets, no longer afraid of alien ships in orbit. On the Defiant, Chris Bailey and his crew celebrated another mission completed without losses. Across human space, people began to believe that maybe, just maybe, the war was ending. But the Elders had one more choice to make. They could accept the new reality and negotiate as equals, or they could gather their remaining forces for one final, desperate attack. The galaxy waited to see which path they would choose. The reckoning had humbled the mighty. Now it would be determined whether they had learned anything from their defeat. "We did it," Jake said. "We stopped them." "We stopped the first attack," Lisa corrected. "But this is not finished. The Elders have two choices now: accept us as equals or try to destroy us completely. I do not think they will choose peace easily." "Then we prepare for round two," Jake said. Lisa nodded. "Yes, but this time we do not wait for them to come to us. This time we take the fight to them." The reckoning had begun. The Elders had delivered their warning and been answered with force. Now humanity would deliver a warning of its own. And when humans gave warnings, they made sure the message was heard clearly. Threatened, he did not understand that every human colonist was willing to die before giving up their home. He did not know about Phoenix Project. He did not know that human desperation and human innovation had created a perfect storm. The 30 days ended. The Elder fleets moved toward human colonies. They expected quick victories. They expected humans to surrender after the first shots. They expected this to be simple. The reckoning was about to begin, and the Elders would finally understand that age did not equal wisdom, and size did not equal strength. The 30-day clock had started. The Elders expected compliance. They would get something very different. The reckoning was coming, and it would come swiftly, but not in the way and imagined.